where this guy, he was from Chicago. It was a homosexual on the camp. That was also from Chicago. He felt like that was his homeboy. He wanted him. They guess they didn't talk or they knew each other or something. But it was this guy from D.C. that had the homosexual, that had the boy that was, you know. So this guy was, like I say, I was surviving, you know what I mean, doing what I had to do to survive. So this guy, wanted to pay me to get rid of this guy so that he can have the boy, had his homosexual. Yeah, that's what he gave me. A half ounce reefer and bought me a pair of British Knight boots, in which I ain't never get the boots because I got locked up. But anyway, he didn't want me to get rid of the guy my way. My way was, put the knife in my hand and go do what I got to do to him. Get him off the yard that way. If they administration felt like somebody was trying to kill you, they were going to get you off the yard. But anyway, the guy gave me a lotion bottle full of paint thinner, put some newspaper in it, and spread it out, cut it up toward and the guy slept on the 300 tier. Those were single cells. So I slept down on the bottom floor, A tier, that was double man cell. So 5:30 that morning, when the officers pulled the levers that opened up all the cells, I just walked around on 200, then went up on the 300 tier. This is 5:30 in the morning. As I approached the guy's cell, I lit the newspaper. On the State Farm, they got bars up on on the cells. These are jail bars. They not the prison doors that you got now, in prison, the slider doors, and these were prison with the bars. And a lot of time, guys would sleep with a padlock on the outside of their door, because you had, first thing in the morning, you had guys coming, creeping in your cell, stealing your shit while you sleep. Or if you had enemies, guys would creep up in there and stab you, beat you down with a lock or whatever. So a lot of time, guys will sleep with a padlock on their door. And that's what the case with this guy. So when I walked past, his cell, as I approached his cell, I lit the newspaper and walked past and tossed the lotion bottle full of paint, in the cell. And immediately, because I tossed it on the bed, and immediately his cell went up in flames. Doing this at the time, that was attempted murder. But at the time, I just wasn't thinking. But his cell went up in flames and everything. Man, I thank God, though, because the guy wasn't even in the cell. He was down at pier call. So God was on that man's side, but he wasn't in the cell. He was downstairs in the basement. And I thank God, that it turned out that way, because, none of that, after it happened, I realized that, man, I tried to kill a guy. That was attempt murder. I lasted on the yard after that incident right there about 2 weeks. Everybody started talking and my name started circulating, and, somebody seen me up there and I got locked up for it. And that's what I stayed those 27 months in SEG for. The guy's cell that I set on fire, I ran into him on Greensville. I was at medical. One night they just called me to medical, man. I hadn't put in to go to medical for nothing, And it was about 8 o'clock that night. So while I'm sitting on it, on a little thing, the little bench, letting the nurse check me out, she doing a little physical, kind of looked towards my right, at the little window. And I see the guy standing outside the window. He got a lieutenant and a sergeant with him. And they looking at me. And I was like, man, whoa. The moment I seen him, I already knew what it was, And that feeling just came back to me, man. I can't get away from it. How lucky I was that he wasn't in the cell, But at the same time, I'm like, man, he's snitching on me. Like I say, man, I was just doing little things like that to survive.